Hello Tubesters, it's Gav and welcome to another one of my videos. Today we will be taking a look at this scale 75 bust. He's called Khalgrim. There is another bit after his name, but they've not put it on the box itself, and for the life of me I cannot remember. It was a gift from my wife anyway, and for Christmas. It was one of these things that I was going up and down the lists of, the photographs of all the different busts from one of the suppliers that I mainly get them from. And I thought historical fantasy, and I came across this guy. There was some metal that I could do my practicing non-metallic metals, and I really like the face. I think busts for me are all about the faces, and I really wanted to have a go on this. So yeah, it turned out to be fantasy. When this is completed, I shall probably do another historical bust or a large-scale figure of some description. So if you'd like to join me down at the workbench, we'll open this up and take a look and see what you think. See you in a minute. Alright Tubesters, thanks for joining me down at my workbench. This is obviously a close-up of the box itself and the box art. Lovely face. I think the sculptor's done a really great job on the hair. I'm not decided yet, you always try and put your own spin on it, and I'm not decided yet whether I have the hair colouring the same. I did think of going for like a greyish blonde look, if that makes sense, just for a bit of difference. It probably wouldn't stand out from the metallics on the, or the metal on the armour, but anyway, that's a decision for another time, one to agonise over. So yeah, box as usual. This is all bust up by me because that box was blooming tight to get in and out of the packaging. It really was. It wasn't just over eagerness on Gav's part. But there you go, you can see the front and back of the painted version, if I can get the lights off it. So let's have a look at what's in the box, which I think I'm going to have to move the camera down on the look of it. Let's have a squeeze. Real professional video work as usual, guys. Right, as you can see, we've got a couple of layers of foam. You can see how hard it's pressed into by the indentations in the foam. Still is well packed. Let's have a look at this axis. It's in my hand. See white metal. Just need obviously a bit of a scrape in parts, just to get any bits and pieces off. Maybe some wire wool, I think, as well. Obviously, it's only the shortened piece because it's going to be fitting into behind over his shoulder, and fitting in somewhere with the torso, I'd imagine. Here's the torso, quite slabby, as armour is, but again, a nice piece of work, I believe. Get your drill into there, put a pin in, and then well, not so much a pin, but well, pin to actually paint, but get your bit of tubing in or whatever when you mount it on your plinth. That's what one of those Dark Messiah plinths are for. I'm thinking of mounting this one on the round one that I showed. Nice square locating peg for his head. More pegs there as well. One for the shield, obviously. I'm not sure if that one's going to be for the axe or not. I would imagine, yeah, because there's a casting block at the back. Sorry, I'm doing a review here with no glasses on, which is ridiculous. So yeah, he'll fit something like that. I'll just put that back in the box for a second, because never do a review when you haven't got your readers on. That's a lot better. I can actually tell you what I'm looking at now, rather than feeling it. Right, obviously he's got fur at the back. I would say that's going to be mostly covered by the shield, which is under this layer of foam. In a minute I'll show you. So how detailed it needs to be, I'm not sure. If that's not going to be on show, it's not too bad. Otherwise, I would have liked to seen a bit more detail in the fur, but we'll see. All the bumps and grooves at the bottom that's just standard. I mean, obviously you're going to be cutting bits of casting blocks off, but that's not too much of a problem. So we've got some rents in the armour there where it's been worked on, and along here. Let me just have a look on the box art again. Now those holes actually, I believe, will probably locate I might be wrong, but they probably locate the braids on his beard. There's some, let me get my little pointy stick, some little gaps here which are going to need filling. As I say, I take it, I'm not 100% sure yet whether these are supposed to be rents in the armour or if they've got something to do with when the beard comes down. I don't think they're actually like miscasts or anything. I think they're supposed to be there. We've got some scale armour underneath there, small scales. I was thinking doing this in the blued, like a bluey grey, non-metallic, and then do all this in like a gold metallic. So let's put the torso to one side for a moment. I can't see any little holes or any, well, apart from those ones there, but I do believe that's to do with the braids, I would imagine. I might be wrong. We'll have a look in a minute. This thing here is this like his scalp lock. There's a little locating lug there. Beautiful face. That's fantastic. That's what drew me to this sculpt. Was just the face. I was going to do a World War II historical one, but I saw this guy and I thought, you know what, I really like that. Now, a couple of things. Again, I have to keep going back to the art because I've gave this a cursory look and that was it. Right, there's nothing on there. So let's have a look at this. We've got a casting block here, which I can't understand why you would put a casting block there and not somewhere around here. I don't understand that. That's going to be a bit of a git to remove and make it look something like the real thing. But also there is a line, like a band, that goes all the way around the head, which I hadn't seen before when I opened the box over Christmas. I don't know if you can see it. Okay. See, there's a band there that goes all the way around. So that's going to need to be, you know, a very fine grade sanding stick and a polishing stick to remove that. It's a bit disappointing. I'm not sure why that was there. As I say, that block, I'd obviously seen the block when I opened it up at Christmas time, and I just don't understand why you'd put a block on a head that's you know, it's not like it's going to have a helmet over or some type of hat. Now I'm not, you know, they could, you know, obviously I don't cast resin. There might be an absolutely plausible reason why you do it there and nowhere else. But I just can't see why. If you can put like casting blocks, you know, somewhere under, like this one is under here, I can't see why you wouldn't have one under there either. But we work with what we've got. So these, as I say, these things are sent to triers. But there he is. Now, this here, it's not actually covered by these braids particularly well. So I'm trying to have a look at the box art, and I can't see if that particularly is meant to be battle damage or not. So again, that's something we'll have to play around with and decide, decide what it's going to be. But again, face wise, those braids are really nice. Well, I'm not like an octopus, so unfortunately I'm not going to be able to put the shield on the back. We'll give it a go. The shield's quite nice actually, if I remember rightly. Oh, and he's right at the bottom, bear with me. Here we go. Oh, that's the shield. Nice big piece of resin again. With your locating lug at the back. So let's just see if we can right, so roughly that's what he's gonna look like. So you'll be painting, well, you could either leave that wood or metal, it's up to you guys. And obviously the axe, do we attempt to put the axe actually located in the, something like that anyway. So that's got that's also got a fairly rough casting block on, which is going to have to be cleaned away. Again, we've got not particularly smooth resin around the outside, so that's going to have to be again sanded and polished to give it a good because that, you know what it's like the minute you put primer on, you're going to see those marks all over it. You've also got lines in the resin. And this isn't particularly massively smooth around here, which, obviously if it was dwarf made it would all be absolutely perfect. So again, I don't know how the heck I'd actually really do much with that. I think it's just going to have to be a case of let the paint do the work on that, I think. There's a few little marks in the resin again. I'm not sure if that's actually supposed to be like if it's supposed to be battle damage. I don't think it is. I think it's just a couple of little marks. As I say, there's lines going down this, and I don't know if it's supposed to, if it's almost like one of those machines, that do the 3D stuff. Not 3D. With people that make their own plastic stuff at home. I can't even remember what it's called now. I don't know if that's that, or if it's supposed to look like wood. The actual, again, the box art, it's actually done like a bronzy type of effect, so I don't think that's the case. So yeah, it is what it is. Let's just see how we'll work with it. Again, all round here, although it's going to be on the guy's back, there's obviously a particular way it goes on, because that's located fairly. It's still going to be on show, so all that for me is going to have to be sanded out, smoothed out. So what do I think? I think the actual facial details are absolutely fantastic. You know, you can't fault the face on the guy, all the braids and that. I'm not happy about this line going round the brow. I don't know why that would be there. It goes all the way around to that side, and we've got that nice big lug sticking out the side of his head. So that's a disappointment. You always expect some type of clean up with figures, whether it's, you know, wargaming figures or these type of guys, but that's going to take a fair bit. You know, there's going to be a lot. I can see a few nights of sanding on this before it's for me acceptable to paint. And I'm not the greatest in clean up in the world, but I just know the minute I try and put any paint on that, if you left that band type mark in there. So yeah, I'm disappointed with that. It mucks up a really nice face. We'll see how disappointed I am when I actually come to start sanding it. If it sands up fairly easy and it's not too noticeable, then it won't be too much of a problem. But if it's an absolute pig to do, then it'll be a letdown, this. But we'll see. As I say, we work with what we've got. Right, so that's that. This guy, as I say, it's got these here. I can only assume that they are meant to be. Well, I can't see how that is supposed to be battle damage, really, to be honest with you. But I do believe it's covered by. It's not even. It's not even really covered by those braids. I don't know. As I say, I presume it's supposed to be battle damage, looking at the way it's cut through that, you know, this belt type thing. I mean, these bits here, you know, that's not a massive problem. As I say, the fur, I would have liked to have seen a lot more detail in the fur. If you're going to go to the amount, you know, to the amount of braids that you've got there and how good they look, then I would have hoped maybe the fur would have looked the same. But it is what it is, as I keep saying. And there's the shield one last time. As I say, that's going to have to have a lot of sanding around the outside. This is going to have to be sanded because it will show up and it will really detract from the bust. So thank you very much, guys, for taking a look. I hope everything goes well with you, and next time you see this, it might actually be sanded again. We'll go through, like Lucky Jack, all the different stages, the sanding, showing you any filling I've done, and different types of painting stages. So take care of yourselves. Thank you for stopping by and taking a look at my vid, and we'll catch each other soon. Cheers.